Everybody. I would like to welcome you to this Discuto webinar on the challenges with common collaboration processes. It's a pleasure to have many of you here. We are going to discuss main issues that you may encounter in doing collaborations. We will record this webinar and you can listen to it later. We will upload it to the Discuto page. And so it's no need really to take a lot of notes. I would be pleased if you would put all the questions that arise during the webinar into the chat box in the lower left corner of your page. I will answer those questions during the Q&A session, which we are going to have at the end of our webinar. And these issues that we would like to discuss here in the webinar. Basically, I tell you a little bit about myself and what we are doing, some of the discussions already had and the clients we have been serving, also the main problems you might encounter and the big opportunities that are being offered by this way of reaching out to people. And then we have a live session where I show you the main steps to set up a discussion of this and to actually carry it through. I've been in this kind of activity for more than 5 years. I'm basically an economist by training and still work in that capacity, doing studies on innovation and related issues. We have founded this company about 5 years ago, as I already said, together with Alpha Taurus. We have developed 2 patents which registered in the US that are directly related to the way we choose. We also have tried to initiate a lot of changes, most prominently maybe some of the things that are actually taken up by the Austrian Parliament, where they want to open up the decision-making process for laws and regulations, to have views and divergent views on the issues that are going to be decided later on in Parliament. We have also worked for a number of institutions, starting with the German House of Parliament, the European Commission, some ministries, the City of Vienna, universities and companies. But most activity on Discuto really takes place on the Discuto platform, where we have had thousands of discussions already, and a user base of more than 18,000 people that regularly, not all of them of course, use Discuto to make better decisions. But let's discuss the challenges with common collaboration process. I've experienced them over the time, and which were also one of the main motivations to develop Discuto. You might be aware that that it's not that easy and not always straightforward to have engaging discussions if you work with a lot of people. I'm talking here about issues like getting feedback on issues, getting new ideas, getting fresh ideas that open new perspectives, can lead to better solutions. So it's very important, I think, for many of these issues that you really have a clear framework where you tell people why they should participate, what you are going to ask from them, and what the impact of their contributions will be. So it should be clear from the beginning what we are going to expect in all this, and how you are going to use their feedback. Just as a case where we more or less applied this was a research project we did together with Technopolis and Oxford Research for the European Commission. We were trying to come up with scenarios for the smart silver economy that means for a society where the share of older people is much larger than it is at the moment. These people have special needs and also an important factor for future economic development. So basically we had in the first step an ideation process where we asked for main issues that might arise and that might give way or might inspire innovation in that field that would propel the smart silver economy. We had a lot of participants, close to 1,000 people that were taking part in this ideation. 96 ideas were created that were then voted and discussed by all of the community and were taken to write 10 different scenarios for different fields of this silver economy. Those scenarios, again, something like 10, as I already said, were then uploaded separately to Discuto and were again validated by the community. So this was really a process where you combined the creativity, the inspiration of the community in the ideation process with the expert knowledge of the people then, which then wrote the scenarios and had them validated by the community. So this is a very simple innovation process where you start with ideas, have expert input, and then, of course, community validation, but it's very efficient in the projects we have been doing. And we are using this process again and again. Also important is to involve the right people in your discussion. And here, Discuto basically offers that you have closed user groups or open discussion. If it's a closed or private discussion, you simply invite those people that you want to have in that discussion. Nobody else can participate. If you have open discussions on Discuto, everybody can see the discussion, either because it's advertised or you send out a link, so they can join the discussion and bring in whatever they can bring to the process, their experience, their information, and so on. And involving different groups has proven a very good way to increase the productivity in such a discussion, meaning that if you have diverse groups participating, get interesting discussions and more out of such an ideation or document discussion process. So basically, there are many options in mixing different communities or different groups. You can have either maybe in an organization an internal discussion, or you might involve your customers, your employees or suppliers, or whatever. So there are many ways that you can mix groups and have a discussion issue to get together, cross-inspire them in their discussions, and thus come up with interesting contributions and solutions. We have a number of features on Discuto that more or less automatically help you to have discussions that are vibrant and that thrive. Basically, we try to keep people on the same board by telling what happened the day before the discussions. So they get a daily summary email telling them how many new comments and votes were. You also get reminders if somebody commented on your comment. And of course, it's open to you to write emails and inform them about new developments. Also, and this is really an important issue, the discussion doesn't end when the end of the discussion is reached. It's really important to take the knowledge you receive and take decisions. Yeah? A decision in this context, when you discuss a document, for example, is a change in the document. So whenever you change the document, reflecting the input you got from the community, you take a decision. It's also a decision, of course, if you don't change the content of a paragraph. We have created a number of tools on Discuto and features that really help you make this decision. One of these is the consensus meter, which you see here, which basically tells you whether you should change a paragraph or not. If the consensus meeting, you shouldn't do it. If it's in the red, you should do it. There is more behind that, and there is also documentation on Discuto. Please have a look if you are interested, or we might even discuss this in the Q&A session. Also, you get a lot of statistics on the discussion, like the overall rate of agreement or disagreement. And you can see, but it is something we got to look at a little bit more in detail later, how the or the voting is at the paragraph level. Because this is one thing at Discuto, if you have it, if you are online, if you have uploaded document, or if you have ideas, you have voting on each of the paragraphs of the documents, and of course on each of the ideas. And so you can see where is agreement in the community, where is disagreement, or where is opposition. Yeah? And usually the interesting parts that come out of these votings are the paragraphs where you have disagreement or opposition. There you have to dig deeper, find out what is the cause for these controversial or this opposition, and work on finding better solution for this. Last but not least, this is very important for us. We have really high security and privacy standards, paying attention to European regulation and just being in line with what we have in Europe. Also not tracking users, not user data, avoiding that users are being tracked by social media platform and so on. So this is really an issue that is on top of our priority list, that we have a secure and private discussion environment for whatever you are going to discuss on Discuto. I'm here on Discuto, I'm logged in. I would like to create a document discussion. I show you briefly the document I would like to upload. It's not important what it is, it's just the content that I'm interested in. I have here a simple Word document that has a heading, and this is formatted as a heading. That's important. I have different paragraphs, a picture, and bullet points. Yeah, so that's it. And I'm going to upload this now to Discuto. Just a moment. Here I am on Discuto. The standard procedure is to click on create new element, and you have overall 3 different content types at the moment. You can either create a new page, that is kind of overview page where you can more or less, which helps you to create larger processes, where you attach all the different discussions you opened on Discuto to this overview page, so that those that might be interested to join these discussions are not lost. And you can create a new discussion that's basically a document discussion, where you simply upload a document. We are going to do, I say this, need a title for this, there's discussion for webinar, let's call it that. Then I will upload it from my computer. You could also upload it from Google or from Microsoft, but I do it from here. Take this one and say next. So now the file is uploaded to Discuto. That shouldn't take too long. It's being converted. What you see here is a view of the document that allows you to do some formatting or to edit the document. What you immediately is that Discuto recognizes headings, and this is also formatted as a heading done on Discuto. It breaks down the document at the paragraph level. So each paragraph is in the box, and you will see that we are going to discuss this at this level. Also, the pictures here, bullet points, you can see here, are also recognized. Yeah. If you would like to change it, yeah, you simply click on the pen here. You can do different things, which I'm not going to showcase here, but I accept it and go to the discussion. So after this, we have the basic discussion environment for your collaboration set up. This is the overview page, and if you go to this header, you can see the discussion. Here's the document again. Here you have, in this case, the voting buttons and also the comment buttons. We will come back to that later. Let's go back to the description page. what you can see here is a pattern. I mean, you can see here a timeline show how many days are still left for the discussion. In this case, the standard option 30 days until the 31st of March. You have a quick button to go to the discussion. You have here some tasks for the admin. So it really guides you through this installation process. It basically suggests that you add title to this, main description, some further info, and the banner would be in the position to really change this banner you see here. Use something that fits your purpose or reflects your organization or whatsoever. Here you could add the subtitle, whatever. These are things I'm not going to do, but all you would have to do is click on these edit buttons, which are kind of distribute over this page, are only visible for the moderator, but it's a quick link to add something. I will add description. Where I'm not, basically, I don't add a text now, but the important thing is that you tell your users in a very concise way what you are discussing, until when, why they should participate, and how you are going to use the inputs. So this is a very quick way of getting across and to motivate potential participants. If I save this, it's going to be shown on this description page. That's interesting. It's not shown. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to show you is how you can add more information here. You basically have the option here to add an info page. That is basically a way to create simple HTML. You might use them to have something like a downloads document, discussion document. That means you would upload this file again. I simply upload this file again. Let's save this. Let's see if this works. Let's go back to the discussion, and I've created this page here, where you basically can download the discussion paper. You could also add different pieces of information that would be important for the user, in the sense that you describe the process or your motivations in more detail than you do in this basic description of the document. So let's goes to the page, comes here, has the option to read it, vote on it, and over time you would see whether people are in favor of the arguments in a paragraph or against it. At the end of the process, or even during the process, you can then basically change these paragraphs by doing whatever, European context or whatever. I simply write something here, submit this. This basically changes the paragraphs. It's this one here. Sorry, it says it's the version 2 now. There is no voting anymore because, of course, this is a new paragraph. All the comments that were there would also be deleted not in bad sense, but there is no, the comments for this new paragraphs are simply empty. And all the people that commented on this paragraph or voted on it would get a reminder that this has changed. So they would come back and discuss the changed paragraph. Yeah. At each point in time, you can go back to this paragraph. So you would see the original just before the changes made. There is one vote. You would also see the let's write a comment first so that this is also something we see. This is nice or whatsoever. So this simply is a comment. And then I could give feedback as the moderator. Thank you for your contributions. I have a system more or less, which also gives kind of visual feedback. If I save this, you see the feedback is attached to the paragraph just below it. So I would like to emphasize that it's really important to give that kind of feedback at the end of the discussion and let your contributors know what you take from them, why you take it, what you don't take and why you don't take it, and what you are going to do with that. I think this is really important to really conclude the process and to give that feedback so your participants are much more likely to join another discussion in the future to really close the process by them know what happened. A feature that is coming soon, and this you can see here, is the option to create surveys. Now this is only for test users at the moment, but something we are gonna make in the near futures, and which will then be available for everybody. So this is what I would want to. Now there's one more feature I would like to show you, and this is how to invite other users to the discussions. Here I have this link to invite new participants, but you might also click on settings here. If you either go to the dashboard or share the discussion, you would be able to invite users. Another features that might be interesting for you is to download the document. You can download it in either HTML format, which you can easily upload into Word, and then save it as a Word document or as an Excel file. You of course can export the list of users, but let's just go to the dashboard, to the email function, and here you can invite new participant, or you can also write emails to existing participants. This option is good during the discussion when you would like to update them or send a personal message, or just tell them what happened in the past week, what you take from it. Remind them that this is only open for a few more days, or that it's last days, or whatsoever. So you should and you can write emails to all participants in the group, and of course you can invite people here. If I want to invite new participants, I have a number of options. I simply can add them individually by typing in the email. I can upload a CSV file that is a comma separated file, which is created through Excel. You just upload your list of mail addresses, save them in the CSV format, and then you can upload it to Discuto. You can also use your Google contacts, Microsoft contacts, or you can take the users from another discussion you already had in the past. So if I just type in another email address, add this to the list, write the email. I have to add any text, of course, in the invitation. You can form it as you want. You can add attachments, whatever. Yeah. So I don't really bother to write an email, but this is all you have to do. You can, of course, change it, whatever, either the people that are invited or the message itself, but you can send it after that. So this person would get an invitation and would be invited to participate in the discussion you created. If you'd like to have a look at the tools on Discuto, I suggest to go to the start page, and there is one demo discussion here where you are invited to simply take part in the discussion, vote and comment. You can also see here how it where already people participated looks like. So it has a number of votes. You can go and see comments. You can, of course, reply to comments. You can vote on them and have a look whatever users contributed to this discussion. Interestingly, it might be interesting to go to the overview page by clicking on this link up here. This is simply the overview page for the demo discussions we've created. We have, again, a description here, and then you see the discussion that are discussions added to this overview page, which is basically the demo discussion, which you just saw in the demo ideation. Just go there too. The description page is very much the same, and here you have basically the ideas that were uploaded. You can, at any point in time, upload a new idea by clicking on this paragraph to formulate the title and the main body of your idea. And you save it. That's basically it. When you create new ideas, here back on the overview page, you see some of the statistics of the ideation system, like the number of ideas, who contributed most, and the latest comments too. On Discuto, you also find a number of other discussions that might be interesting for you. You just have a look how people build the description page, how the statistics looks like in a fully developed discussions. Here we had 4,600 votes, a lot of comments, most of them positive, and also the different contributions. So this in particular, the discussion on the Danube region was a very lively discussion. Yeah. Good, but that's it for the live demo. I now go back to the main presentation. Just a moment. We need the presentation again. And we are coming to the Q&A session. I just have a look. If there are any questions here, not really yet. Please type your questions into the chat box if there are any. I would also like to remind you that you have the opportunity to schedule a free setup session with us. Up to 2 hours, we will help you set up your discussion. You have seen here, it doesn't take long really. Come up with a full discussion to get people a perspective on what you are aiming at, to add contents to your discussions. It's really something that you do in half an hour, at most, if you have to write some texts, but it's really a very easy way of inviting a number of people or a large number of people to join the topic you are discussing, where you need input from either outside or from in your organization. So, is anything I can answer? If not, yeah, I would be pleased to hear from you. Whatever problems you have, or whatever things you would like to improve, or if you need input from our side, we are open to this, and we are pleased if we hear from you. Please do not hesitate, get in touch, and let us bring in our experience with discussions and collaborative processes, which we have more or less accumulated over the past 5 years. So there is a question: does every participant discussion need a Discuto account, or only the one setting up the discussion? No, everybody that participates in a discussion needs a Discuto account to be able to actively participate. If you have a public discussion, of course, everybody can see the discussion, so you don't need a Discuto account. But if you would like to vote, or if you would like to comment, you have to have a Discuto account. But of course, you can log in with either your Google or Facebook credentials as well. There is another question formulated, it seems. Just a moment. So, the webinar, as I already said, will be uploaded. We have to edit a little bit and get out the few seconds, I hope, but not minutes, where you couldn't see the screen. Please accept my apologies for this. That was not intended. So that is another question. Does it cost anything to participate to a conversation on Discuto? No, it doesn't cost anything to participate in a discussion. What we are doing, of course, you have 14 days, to test Discuto, and then you have to select what kind of option you would like to see. That costing for the institution or person who organizes the discussion, but participation is free and comes with no cost attached. All right. There's okay. This question more or less popped up. I mean, we basically have on Discuto, so there's this free trial period of 14 days before you have to sign up to a contract. We also have a kind of free discussion that will be open all the time with limited functionality, which allows you to create a simple discussion and more or less invite the people to this discussion, of course. Good. If there are no more questions, I would like to close the webinar and thank you for attending. Of course, as I already mentioned, please don't hesitate to come back and ask questions or take up our offer to help you set up discussions or collaboration processes. So we are really pleased if we hear back from you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.